Hi everyone, this is the movement section of the Katie's Readers Pass It On program. And I have to say this again, but this is my favorite one. I know, I say that about all of them. But this one, movement, it's not only fun, it's also crucial to enable efficient learning. In this video, I want to talk about the importance of movement in the learning process and how you can help your students and yourselves switch on your brains with very simple but very specific movement activities. So let's get started. First of all, why is movement so important to the learning process? You may think that learning happens in the head, in the brain, and you wouldn't be wrong. The brain is constantly busy making new neural connections based on the information your body sends it from your experience in your environment. But the brain is forever encased in a dark chamber, never to see the light of day. So the brain doesn't really experience anything. It takes all its information from the environment through your body. Of course, you know all about the five senses and how they gather information for your brain to process. Sight, smell, touch, hearing, taste. But there are other senses that neuroscientists have identified. Some say up to 21. But today, we're really interested in an additional two. Your vestibular system, that's the sense of balance, and proprioception. That's the sense of knowing where your body is in space. So if I close my eyes, I have a sense of where my hand is and I can touch my nose because I have a sense of where my nose is. And it's that sense that the police officer tests the suspected drunken driver for. If your senses are well developed, then your learning will be more efficient. If you have a weak or compromised sense, then learning can be more challenging. It is therefore vitally important to offer students opportunities to strengthen their senses while they are learning, to enable efficient learning. We can help strengthen the vestibular system and proprioception through movement. This is a very simplified image of the brain and how it functions. As you can see from this image, both sides have very specific jobs. But I must remind you that this is a very, very simple map of the brain, and the brain is so much more complex than this, and most activities use many parts of the brain on both sides. It's important to note that the left side of the brain typically operates the right side of the body, and the right side of the brain typically operates the left side of the body. Therefore, it is imperative that both sides of the body work together to enable both sides of the brain to work together. The left and right hemispheres are joined by a bridge called the corpus callosum. And it's the corpus callosum that allows both sides of your brain to connect. One of the best ways to get both sides of your brain working together is to get both sides of your body working together. Think about riding a bike. You're using both legs and both arms. You need balance from your vestibular system, and you need to be aware of where your body is, proprioception. Riding a bike is an enormously complex activity for your brain. It's also an enormously beneficial activity to enable both sides of your brain to work together. By the way, sleep is also crucially important to the learning process. Scientists have even found that getting a good night's sleep between 7 and 9 hours within 30 hours of learning something new greatly improves the ability to retain the learning. But that's not for your Katie's Readers Pass It On program, that's for you. So why am I telling you all this? Because I want you to understand the importance of your seemingly simple movement activity. What kinds of activities are best? Any movement is better than no movement as long as the movement is safe. But there are specific movements that we can encourage which enable us to strengthen the systems required for learning efficiency. Here are 7 tips for finding a highly beneficial activity. Your activity is a winner if, number 1, it's fun. The more fun your activity is, the more chance you have of your students wanting to do it over and over again, even long after you've left the classroom. Unfortunately, when it comes to neurodevelopment, slow and steady wins the race. You can't rush the brain. Just think about how long it takes a child to learn how to walk or to ride that bike. The most important thing is consistent practice and not giving up. And by the way, that goes for all learning. So for yourself, if you're having trouble in a lesson, don't give up. Keep practicing, try moving, and keep making those connections. Number 2, it challenges balance. If your brain is constantly worried about whether or not you're going to fall down or lose your balance, it's very difficult for it to focus on learning algebra. The brain prioritizes the information it takes in, and your balance is of the utmost importance for your health and safety. If the vestibular system is weak, that may affect so many other systems. So the sooner we can strengthen the vestibular system, the sooner your brain can focus on learning. So any activity that challenges balance is a winner. Number 3, it uses both sides of the body and therefore uses both sides of the brain. As I mentioned, moving both sides of your body helps to strengthen that corpus callosum, which helps both sides of your brain work together efficiently. Imagine a line going from the top of your head where the two brain hemispheres come together and goes all the way down your body to the base of your spine. We call that the midline. If your movement activity crosses the midline, it's even more beneficial to the brain. Being able to cross the midline efficiently is a very important developmental skill. Those who struggle to cross the midline or who don't do it naturally often struggle with their academic schoolwork as well as sports and everyday activities like tying shoelaces, for example. Number 4, it challenges coordination. Difficulty with coordination can be a sign that both sides of the brain aren't working as efficiently together as they could be. No need to worry, this just means that we can practice activities that challenge coordination to strengthen that communication. Think about the effort it takes to learn how to pat your head and rub your tummy at the same time. With regular practice, you'll become more efficient at that challenge. Then you can change hands. Number 5, it's relevant and age appropriate. No one wants to play a game that makes them feel like a baby, not even to improve their brain. Crawling is a really great activity to get both sides of the brain communicating, but I'm not sure your students will be happy crawling around the classroom like babies during your visit. Unless you can find a great activity and make it more fun for the age group of the students you're working with. For example, crawling may not be age appropriate, but your students may be excited to have a relay race that includes crawling through a hula hoop. You can also use the theme of your story or craft lesson to incorporate movement activities and make them relevant, for example. Having the children move around like animals in a story. Get creative. Number 6, it includes rhythm. This may be a little harder to incorporate, but brains love predictability, and rhythm provides that. Pat a cake is a great activity because it uses both hands, and a bonus because it crosses the midline, and it has rhythm. And number 7, it's fun. I know, I mentioned this already, but I have another reason. When you're having fun, your brain is relaxed. And when your brain is relaxed, it is much more open to learning. Look in the activity section for some movement ideas. Make sure you pay attention to the notes on the video so you can learn how to identify or modify a great brain activity for yourself. And also, check in with the Katie's Reader Story Packs on our website. We are always adding new activities, including movement. And please share your ideas and your videos and images with us because we can learn from you too.